Hi, this is Kepsi with a major update to the Dungeon Doodler project. You might have noticed that over the last few months, it has been a bit quiet around Dungeon Doodler, and there's good reason for that. I decided to take some time off work and to start to work seriously on the Dungeon Doodler project, and realized quickly that I needed to start from scratch. So that's what I did. And that's why there hasn't been any updates recently to the regular Dungeon Doodler 1.0 that's currently available. But I'm at a point now where I feel like I can show you what I've been working on. And yeah, I guess let's get into it. This is the new Dungeon Doodler, Dungeon Doodler 2, or most likely a different name. We'll see. And first of all, the grid is different. There's just dots now, but nothing major there. There's quite a few tools missing, and it's all very much work in progress still. But the tools that are there are quite nice, actually. So first we have the good old line tool, where you can draw a line. So far, so good. You notice that the interface moved to the other side, and that there's actually something interesting new here, which is this field where I can type in a huge number, and this will give me a huge path, and I can actually color that in different colors to make it a cave floor, for example. Still a bit of work to do on that feature, but yeah, basically um, a nice tool to quickly make very long shapes. I could also make it a river. Yeah, so that's that tool. Of course, you can still use it like you used to, just drawing a nice little shape and then filling it, and you have your shape. The square tool is here, and now it has a nice little preview, which is super helpful. You can drag and drop just like you used to, create multiples. And something I'm very fond of is how you merge or create complex shapes now. So what you can do now is you can hold down your control key and just create another shape next to something you have already selected, and it will get added on. And I can draw over existing shapes, and it will only merge with things that are all selected. And if I hold down the shift key, I can do the opposite. I can remove stuff again, which is, yeah, just super nice. That doesn't only work with rectangles. You can also use your circle tool, which has also a nice little preview now. And I could say I want to add a big circle here, and done. Yeah. Oops. That's nice and new. Another big new thing is this. You can drag each and every point and make your shapes even more complex. And with a double click, you can add even more points and make your shapes even more complex. You're also able to delete points, but yeah, that gets a bit weird right now. There's still bugs in there. That's why it's not published yet. Obviously, you can still just put new stuff in, take stuff out, can remove stuff from the inside here, and yeah, really go nuts and create complex shapes really quickly. Yeah, points snap to the grid by default, but if you hold down shift, you can just wiggle them wherever you like. Yeah, so that's that. Something I got asked recently was the option to save with just Control S, and that's now possible too. I can just save and it will save to my file. If I reload, you'll see map is still there, just like you used to. But because I've reloaded, I should have to, just need to say, okay, this is my file. Yes, I want to override it. Now it's saved. And once I've done that once, I can just hit Control S as much as I like and save. Really easy, really nice. The whole network in the background is also new. There's nothing really I can show you because if everything works well, it would look exactly the same, but it's all peer-to-peer now, which means even if for some miracle Dungeon Doodler should get super popular in the future, there's no issue there from the server side. All the network traffic will be sent from the Dungeon Master to each players, from the players between each other, and there's not a big server load on my end, which is super nice. And I don't have to save any of your assets, not even temporarily, on my server, which is also super nice because that means you can do whatever you like and I can't control it, and nobody can really. So yeah, make of that what you will, but there might be some benefits for you in there. Other differences are with the tokens. I have my little bard here, and you can see there's a nice little ring around him, and if I subtract some HP, will actually go down. This view is obviously just for the Dungeon Master, so HP are still hidden for the players. The bloody effect is still there, as you can see, and it will get stronger over time. Status effects are a bit more visible. Gets quite crowded here on the token, I have to admit, but I think it's the exception that you have this many effects on you. Maybe a concentration and a bless on the same time, maybe a fear, and if you get poisoned and you're also stunned, then you're lost basically anyway, so who cares even that you can't see your token anymore. Hiding works just as you used to, so the Dungeon Master will see it in this low opacity and it's completely hidden for players. You can give it to the admin, to everybody, and once players connected, you can give it to the players. And there's this new feature, which is the stat block editor. And let's actually go to D&D Beyond real quick and look for a bard. There he is, or she. And what you were always able to do with Dungeon Doodler was just to copy the stat block and hit an import button. But now you can hit this import button right here, and you get everything, and you can edit everything. So if I, for example, want my bard to be a bit beefier, I could give him 60 HP. You see it's updating right there. I could give him 35 feet of movement, which updated right here. So really nice stuff there. The cool part about bards is that they have spell casting. And the spell casting ability actually is a bit of a bonus ability. And you can see that here are spells. And once I hover over them, you get a detailed view of the spells. And yeah, so that's really nice. These highlight sorry, highlight attribute names. So for saving throws, those are easier to find now. And as it was before, you can just click on these things and roll some dice. The dice log is actually also new, and you can see that there's now tiny icons here that represent the dice, which makes it a bit easier to see what you're actually rolling. And that's that. Did I forget anything? Probably yes, but I think that's it for now. I hope you can see why I decided to start from scratch. There's still a few features missing, like the initiative tracker, which I have to port over. Multiple layers are not implemented yet. The big thing I really need to get in there, I think, is the line of sight thing, because I feel like having that in a VTT for free is a big deal, and nobody else really has that. So that's definitely on the agenda. And yeah, since I've developed everything from scratch, performance is way better now, and I can do more things. In Dungeon Doodler, I feel like the performance was okay, but I really struggled to keep it that way. So there are quite a few features I had to scratch or postpone because, yeah, I wasn't performant enough. And these things can happen now eventually. Um, Thinking about when to release this thing, this new version, it's probably a few weeks out, maybe a month, but not much longer. There will be stuff missing that's in Dungeon Doodler 1 still. Uh, Dungeon Doodler 1, sorry. Uh, and that won't get ported now or maybe ever, because I feel like they are no longer needed. But yeah, that should be a state where I feel like me and my group would play with the new tool instead of the old one. And I feel like people should be able to do the same. I won't turn off Dungeon Doodler 1 anytime soon, I feel like. So no worries there. Maps probably won't be compatible, but might be. Um, that's maybe a thing to keep in mind. But yeah, again, Dungeon Doodler 1 will be available for the foreseeable future for maybe half a year or a year. So don't worry too much about that. And yeah, if you have input in things you want to see or what you like about this little introduction, what you didn't like, I would be super happy to hear from you on Discord. It's really motivating to see people engage and yeah, have opinions about the thing I'm building. Keeps me going. And yeah, I'm also looking for a new name, really. This whole thing started with the idea of, hey, I just want to doodle some dungeons. And now we got complex token mechanics that you can edit. And there's a lot more I haven't even talked about yet that I'm planning. So it's gonna be more of the all-purpose Dungeon Master tool in the future. At least that's what I hope. So yeah, I hope to hear from you. I hope you like the view into the future. And yeah, see you soon, probably.